Uma carona? Desde que o mundo é mundo, a gente sempre teve fascínio pela ideia de uma vida nômade, sem amarras, sem âncoras, com mais liberdade. Se a gente olhar para a história da humanidade, a gente já viu muita gente entrar num veleiro e cruzar um oceano, entrar numa charrete e cruzar um continente, sempre em busca dessa vida livre. Mas a gente nunca viu um interesse tão sólido, intenso, revolucionário quanto agora, desde que a pandemia chegou no mundo. De repente, do dia para a noite, a gente não tem mais que ir ao escritório, a gente não tem mais que acordar às 7 da manhã e ir para o trabalho. O trabalho meio que vem até a gente. E exatamente por isso surgiu um fenômeno chamado van life, ou a vida na van. Poucos lugares no mundo representam tanto esse fenômeno quanto Oregon, esse estado lindo aqui nos Estados Unidos. A gente vê gente de toda parte vindo para cá porque aqui existe uma comunidade que entende essa prática, que entende essa mudança de estilo de vida como algo absolutamente aceitável. E exatamente por isso eu estou aqui, para tentar entender o que passa na cabeça de uma pessoa quando ela decide deixar quase tudo para trás e viver num volante. Should I park over here? Isaac?
What's up?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, check it out.
And this is Skuliana.
That's my baby right there.
You got babies everywhere.
I sure hope not.
You said they're your babies.
These are my babies. These are my children. So this one is Bussy over
Bussy?
here. And that's a blank slate bus.
All right.
That we're gonna try and sell without full conversion. And then this one's mine. This is,
Well, she's mine for a night.
she's yours for a night, I guess. But yes, it's Skuliana. This is my pride and joy.
This is beautiful. Did you do this?
I had a vehicle wrap guy do it.
That's gorgeous.
So when I painted it, it looked like a church bus. And then I just had this vision in my head for these trees. It's become a part of its identity since then.
I love that you humanize these machines. You know, one is called Levi, one is called Skuliana. How do you pick a name and how attached emotionally are you to them?
Oh, man. Well, they're like my children, you know, because I literally get to watch them. Like, look at that one over there.
Yeah.
That's like a school bus still, you know, and I get to, like, mold it and turn it into something beautiful. This was my first bus that I built after my first van.
Was this love at first sight?
Yeah, well, there's a story. There's a story to that. Basically, the van was too small. I was living in the van for a bit, and I needed something bigger. My buddy just kept telling me, you should just look at a bus. I was like, I don't want a bus. He said, you should look at a bus. Just trust me. I was like, okay. So I went and stood in the bus, and instantly I was like, oh, this is what's up. It's literally a cabin on wheels. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't feel like you're living in a vehicle.
Yeah, when I moved to New York, I lived in a studio that was Sculiana size. Yes, tiny. I mean, you have a lot of luxury here in the sense that you can move from place to place.
Yeah.
At the time, I was paying crazy rent. You know, like things in New York are really expensive. How expensive is van life or bus life or nomadic life?
It's as expensive as you make it.
Okay.
You know, like, you know, I'll see people running around here with $140,000 vehicles, which they could buy a house with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, the vehicle is a part of it, but it's the experience that's all of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember when it mentally changed for me. When I had my van, I was still working full time. But then I remember one night I was in my van and I was like, I just want to go to the beach right now. And you know how many times you've had those thoughts, you're laying in bed or whatever, but it's like, oh, but I got to get a hotel, or oh, I got to do this, and then you don't do it. And then I was laying in my van, I was like, wait a minute, I could just drive over there right now. And then I could just get up earlier and get back to work. And then that was literally the moment when it all changed. This is what they look like, kind of, as you get them from the school districts.
Why does the school district sell a bus like this? Was there an issue with this?
Legally, it can only have so many miles and it can only be so old.
Interesting.
You know, because it's like it has to be safe.
Of course.
For children. So it's like, usually once they hit a certain age or and each school district is different.
Mm-hmm.
They hit a certain mileage, they have to sell them and they have to get new buses in their fleet.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I like buses is because it's all metal. Like, this is not plastic. Go buy a brand new car right now, it's all plastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're just safer, they're just strong.
Historically speaking, people traveled and lived in ships and went cross-country. I think we've always been fascinated with this idea of a nomadic life. Why do you think now people are so hungry for the idea of leaving our old lifestyle behind and adopting something like this? Do you feel like life has changed?
100%, and I'll never go back. I feel like my generation seen their parents unhappy.
Yeah.
You know, trapped in a mortgage, trapped in a marriage, and they're working every day, clocking in, clocking out. Dad's coming home, don't have time or energy to do anything.
Surviving, not living.
Surviving, you know, and then it's like they do all that to be 60, 70 years old and then buy an RV and go travel. How often do you hear that?
Yeah. And then we have the unexpected, which was the pandemic.
COVID.
Yes. And that
was huge.
Sped things up too, right?
Yeah. COVID made people realize that their safe little world isn't really safe. The market on these tripled overnight, which was another reason that made me jump. Mm-hmm. Because the thing about these off-grid vehicles is they don't depend on anything. Like, I don't need to plug in, I have solar. Mm-hmm. You know, they have water filter systems. I can pull water straight out of a river and drink it. So it's like you don't depend on anything or any system. They're off-grid vehicles.
Will you show me my home for the night?
Yeah. Can you stand in here?
Oh, I think so.
Oh!
Ele perguntou a minha altura. Eu tenho 1,83.
Whoa!
1,84 com salto.
I mean, it's pretty, I don't know, I guess it's pretty simple. You know, you got running water. You got a drawer with all your knick-knack paddywhacks.
Nice.
I have one drawer, so there's kind of a lot of stuff in there. And you got a fridge, pulls out. I don't even know what's in there.
Nice.
Stuff's in there. And then you got lights, so pink. And then it's on a dimmer, so you can kind of control the mood a little bit, you know. And then this is an emergency hatch if the hobos are trying to attack you. They don't expect you to come from above. I've had to use that.
No.
Oh, yeah, bro.
How? For what?
I got up there with my barbecue poker and had to scare them off.
Who was coming for you?
The hobos, man.
What is that?
The homeless.
Oh. Really?
Oh, yeah, bro.
Tell me more. I was expecting you to say the bears.
No,
The
man.
vultures.
No, so...
The lions.
The cities are more dangerous than the woods. Because there's just a lot of mental health issues, things like that. And the thing about something like this is it looks kind of fancy. And basically, a situation in my van years ago, and we were in a parking lot one night, and all of a sudden, like, there was probably 3-4 people around the van, banging on it, trying to get in. It was really scary. And then basically, as soon as there was a little break, jumped up, put the keys in, and took off.
Fuck.
So it's like, there are those situations. The world is dangerous, you know? So it's like, you just gotta always be prepared.
Everything has a downside, you know? I mean, I think the misconception is you have to learn differently from, say, house life. You know, the things that you take for granted in your home sometimes, for the most part, aren't readily available when you live in this.
I feel like a lot of women, young and old, they're afraid to try to live this lifestyle because they're afraid that they can't do it on their own.
You have great style, too. The place looks awesome.
Thanks, man.
Notice what I just did? Subconsciously? The place looks awesome. For the first time, I looked at this as a place and not as an automobile.
It's because you feel at home, man.
A vida é onde você estaciona. Home is where you park it. This can be a metaphor for life. Life is where you park it. Life is where you park yourself, you know? It's deep and truthful. All right, cool.
Holy shit, bro. I feel like my child's going out to live on his own.
Ele tá morrendo de medo. Meu Deus. Vamos nessa. Um perrengue em grande estilo. O famoso perrengue chique. Oregon é a capital nacional da van life. É claro que isso tem tudo a ver com essa vista espetacular. Oregon é o estado mais verde dos Estados Unidos. Eu estava dirigindo há algum tempo, vi que tinha uma entradinha. Aí parei aqui em cima e descobri isso. É um espetáculo, né? Eu me dei conta de que talvez a primeira lição dessa minha jornada seja que uma vida como essa te permite ter esse tipo de surpresa, né? Eu sou uma criatura viciada em hábito. Eu geralmente como as mesmas coisas, vou aos mesmos lugares. Então, para mim, me permitir me apaixonar por uma coisa absolutamente nova e inesperada como essa é muito, 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 muito especial. Deve haver algo muito mágico, né, para tanta gente hoje em dia escolher deixar tudo para trás e viver isso. Eu nunca imaginei que a sensação de dirigir um trambolho não se sinta ofendida. Eu tenho um elo emocional já com ela. Fosse ser tão diferente de dirigir um carro normal, como que eu tô acostumado. Ó, chegamos no Packard Creek Campground. A gente está descobrindo isso juntos, tá? Eu quero deixar isso claro. Eu não tenho a menor ideia de onde eu tô ou para onde eu tô indo. Ó, não vou mentir, não. A gente tá no meio do nada. Demanda coragem, no caso. Como é que é? Será que eu paro aqui e fico aqui? Vocês notaram que eu não tenho muita experiência quando o assunto é acampamento. Algumas coisas, não alimentar animais, tomar cuidado com urso, há alguns peixes que você não pode pescar. Bem-vindo. Vou basicamente preparar a van para a noite. Assim, tudo tem que estar super amarrado, tá vendo? Porque senão você freia, quebra tudo. Aqui você tem umas tomadas para carregar o celular. Então aqui a gente tem a placa solar. Aqui embaixo está a minha casa. Então aqui você tem essas luzinhas, que são quase uma boate. Vou ser muito honesto com vocês. Eu já dormi em camas muito piores. Tô impressionado. Na vida pode faltar tudo, menos café. Bom dia, mundo, bom dia. Bom dia, bom dia, sol, bom dia, água, bom dia, floresta. E é gostoso dormir aqui, porque você dorme com o barulho da floresta, acorda com o barulho do rio, toma um café e pé na estrada. É assim que funciona. O Oregon é o estado com o maior número de reservas naturais nos Estados Unidos. É realmente uma coisa impressionante. A cada curva, você se apaixona por uma vista diferente. São milhões e milhões de pinheiros, parece uma pintura. Aqui a gente está na segunda maior cascata do estado, Salt Creek Falls, uma cascata que parece que já existe há 1 milhão de anos. Eu sei que é difícil abraçar, entender esses números, mas quando você está aqui é tudo tão grandioso, é tudo tão lindo, números acabam sendo irrelevantes. Eu diria que é um dos lugares mais lindos que eu já visitei na vida. Eu agora estou indo para Bend, uma cidadezinha que é conhecida como a Meca dos van lifers. Eu estou indo para lá para conhecer uma menina chamada Erika, que largou tudo e decidiu se mudar para dentro da Sage, a van dela. Hey, Erika.
Yeah.
I'm
Hi.
Pedro. Nice to meet you. How's it going? Thank you for meeting me.
Of course. Yeah.
In Bend,
Welcome
right?
to Bend, which is not my home necessarily, but it is for now.
How do you call this community? Van lifers?
Sure. I mean, I think some people who live in vans find that a bit cheesy. Even for me, it makes me feel a little bit cheesy or weird or I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it is van lifers. I guess that's the best way to describe our group.
I read that in 2011, someone used the hashtag van life for the first time. And now over 7 million people have used that hashtag.
I mean, it's van life, the hashtag, but van life, the real life, has spread
Yes.
like fire. It's crazy.
Before you tell me that story, can you show me your van?
Oh, yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah, this is it. Let me turn some lights on for you.
Excuse me? Whoa.
It's a big step.
Oh, this is so cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is my closet here. And I have a bit of storage in the back, in the garage, so to speak.
This is your bathroom.
Yes.
There's a toilet here.
Yes, there is.
You have a shower.
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty impressive what you've done with this place.
So I bought the van from a bakery in San Francisco, totally empty, used, had 100,000 miles on it already. I was working within a very particular budget that I didn't want to extend beyond. I did a few foundational things, and then I hired some builders to really just do the rest. And then once I got it back, it was little things, putting the plants up and the curtains and, you know.
I was wondering if we could stop somewhere and, I don't know, grab something so we can have a bite.
Yeah,
And then
for sure.
we'll move on.
I love cooking. We can do that.
Amazing. I love
Okay.
eating.
All right, perfect. Nice. Well done.
My first chore. Did you always like driving?
Yeah, actually, I don't mind it. I do feel like I get a lot of looks from people driving this van. I don't know if it's because I'm like a small female driving this huge thing, which is funny because I did sort of wave my flag about minimalism, but I also chose like the largest van you could choose. So maybe I'm not that minimalistic.
Do you remember the very first time you even thought about doing this? That was even a possibility?
When I first started thinking about it, I had just graduated from. Oh
my God. That's what the guy was pointing. He was basically saying you have a cone in your van.
Oh my gosh! As I just
Hold
said,
on.
like,
Stay there.
oh no.
Yes, I'm your right-hand man now.
Well,
It's a story.
I mean, yeah, this happens. You know, that's funny because when I pulled into that spot, I pulled up as close as I could to that cone, trying to get sun to my solar because there was like this window of light coming through. And I thought, I'm definitely gonna need to back up before I leave and not forget that that cone is there.
I love it. Sage. I love you already.
Things like that can happen to anyone. And no one would think twice about it. But if you're a blonde woman driving a van and you run over a cone, you look twice as stupid.
I don't feel that way.
I don't know. We'll shake it off.
Yes. Então a gente comprou queijo, peito de peru, abacate, pão. Isso aqui que ela falou que adora, que é tipo uma pasta de tomate e tomate. E eu comprei chocolate. Vivendo numa van, você tem que guardar tudo sempre. Senão uma freada significa a diferença entre um abacate e uma guacamole.
If you ever don't know where to put something, you just put it on the bed.
Okay.
So I probably should not rely on maps as much as I do, but it's similar to navigating a new town. You always have to use maps. You're never shopping the same grocery store. You're not familiar with where things are. Things can like take twice as long.
Do you like that element of surprise? Do you like the unpredictable aspect of sort of living a nomadic life?
Sometimes, and sometimes I really don't, to be honest. I think the challenge, because all people need consistency at a certain level, and so varying levels maybe, but the challenge with van life, I think, is finding the consistency in the inconsistency.
Something needs to feel like home.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's a habit,
Right.
even if it's a flavor. Your relationship to space and to things is very different from mine, for example.
Sure.
And I don't consider myself a wasteful person, but I'm embarrassed to say that I probably don't use 80% of what I have. I'm talking about clothes, maybe even food.
None of us think about those things until we have to. did I only use 30 gallons of water in regular life? Did I like stop the water right away when I was, did I turn the shower off? Definitely not. It's not super enjoyable, but I think it's natural to not really know how to do those things until you just have to think about them. And I think that's what appealed to me about van life is I knew I was putting a challenge in front of myself. I knew it wasn't going to be really easy and Instagram posts and all those things. I knew it was going to be like a big challenge, a big opportunity to grow, an opportunity to learn, like discover things about yourself.
What's been the biggest challenge so far?
I guess the most prominent one right now, truthfully, is loneliness, I think. I'm very introverted, and so I'm comfortable being by myself for sure, but there comes a limit where you also you need community and you need people that you hang out with regularly, and I think that can definitely be a challenge on the road. I have met some friends on the road, but sometimes you're just, they're in Seattle while you're here, and you're constantly ships passing.
I think this is pretty poetic.
I mean, yeah, it's nice.
The weather feels incredible.
Should we cheers?
We should.
Needs a sandwich. Cheers.
How has this experience changed what you look for in life?
I don't know if you notice the quietness that's around us right now versus the noise that was around us in Bend. And it's Bend, it's not New York City. It's any city, you're just constantly surrounded by noise. You wake up in the morning and everything's more visceral because it's quiet. You hear the crunch of the dirt underneath your feet.
And speaking of respectful, I have crazy admiration for what you do, but you are a female. Have you found yourself in a scary situation?
No, honestly.
You understand why I asked?
Definitely.
Did it cross your mind?
Definitely. In touch with reality about sort of the risks that unfortunately we just exist out there in the world as a female, as a small female. I know my limitations for sure, but I don't feel unsafe in a big locked van, honestly. I carry pepper spray. I don't have anything, and obviously my kitchen has knives, but I don't carry anything, more substantial than that in terms of weaponry. I'd maybe be more concerned about animals. I'm for sure not concerned about people, to be honest. I mean, I know that things happen, but I also know that they're pretty rare, and I think that just being out in nature is the safest place you could be.
You seem to me as someone who will live this life for a while and then will move on to a non-van life.
Regular life.
A regular life. What will you miss most?
It's really funny because the more you think about it, I think every positive in van life is also a negative. The same thing can be both. And so, although the solitude and the loneliness can be a challenge sometimes, I also know that it's something to appreciate in this season and take advantage of in this time, because if and when someday, I do find my partner, I do settle down, I have a family, I have a community, that solitude is a lot harder to find and have for yourself, even when you really want it. And so I think, that's probably a level of solitude that I have right now in this season of life that I'll likely never have again.
Well, if nothing else works, you can always open a sandwich shop.
Oh, yes. I know. Okay.
I ate my whole sandwich. It's delicious.
Sweet.
Chuva é uma delícia, né? Quando você está na cama. E quando a sua cama fica dentro do seu carro? A gente está prestes a descobrir como é que é isso. Estou a caminho de um parque para encontrar um casal que vive numa van, Alex and Frankie. Alex e Frank. Eu ouvi dizer que eles também têm um cachorro. Ou seja, uma família feliz em cima de 4 rodas. Hi.
Hello.
Pedro.
Hey, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Hey,
How are
nice
you?
to see you. How's it going?
Great.
Paco, you gonna say hello?
This is Paco.
Hi, Paco.
Oh.
How are you? Is that your home? That's a yes. I'm a big fan of candles.
Yeah? That's your jam?
Yes, it is. I love that this kind of really feels like a home.
It is a home. It's been our home for the last 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, but we were only planning on living in it for a year. We were like, we're just gonna travel, we're gonna, you know, see everything, and then be back in Florida by Thanksgiving.
In a year. And once we were on the road, we would travel. It was also 2019, so to 2020. So a lot of things changed like immediately.
Well, globally.
Yeah, globally. And we, you know, you don't see that coming, it just happens. We fell in love with travel, which was the amazing part about it.
Okay, pause, rewind. I need to know how you guys met.
So we met on a dating website called Bumble, where the girl actually has to, you can match, but then the girl has to talk to the guy. So I thought that was, you know, interesting because it just made it easier than having to like throw a pickup line out there or whatever.
Yeah.
I had to throw the pickup line.
Yeah. I told her on our first date that I was gonna travel.
Okay.
And then I also invited her. Which I don't know if that was the best idea.
Immediately I was like, oh yeah, like that sounds fun.
Oh, wow.
But I'd also just met him an hour before, so I was kind of like, that sounds cool, but maybe not with you know, I don't know.
You guys, how long have you been dating?
We've been dating about 3 years now, I would say.
Yeah?
And on the road for 2 years?
2,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So we started dating, and then 6 months later, we decided, like, we put down a plan, and we were like, okay, if we want to travel for a year, because that was our original plan,
Okay.
how much do we need to save?
That wasn't even like the realest part of the story. The realest part of the story is I came over a house one day, and she's like, I got a surprise for you. And I'm like, okay. And sure enough, she pulls out this Excel spreadsheet of exactly how much money I need to save for the way that I wanted to do it. And I'm like, well, there's one thing missing and you're not in it. And she's like, oh, I am.
Like, swipe the page. I'm like, well, this is mine. But then, you know, the more we started to get to know each other and the longer we were dating, and then that idea is just kind of like brewing in your mind. And then I start looking and, you know, how could we do this and what would that look like? And so I go to YouTube and I find other people who've been doing it. And I'm like, oh, this actually could be really cozy and comfortable and like,
Yeah.
you know, it could be a reality.
Describe to me what the first day/night on a van was like.
Alex, you
Yeah.
go with this one.
The first day in a van is a little bit scary. I'm not gonna lie, because so we spent like 6 months building it and we're so excited, and then we leave and I don't know, I was like shocked. Like I was like, I can't even believe, like, did I really just quit my job? Did I really just give up my apartment? Did I, you know, like I just sold everything I owned, and like everything I own is in this van now.
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird feeling. So we finally are like driving for a couple hours and we're like, okay, we just need to pull over somewhere. And I'm freaking out because there's, you know, in my apps and I can't find anything. And like, so we pull into a hotel parking lot and I was like, put up the window curtains, don't make a sound, like don't move. He tried to turn on like a little Netflix
I'm like, ooh.
show.
And she's
I was
like, shut that off.
Like, it's too loud, they're gonna see the lights. We're gonna get kicked out of here.
What's intimacy like?
Living in a van with your partner?
It's very intimate.
Yeah.
It's extra intimate because you get to know every single part and thing about your partner.
Good and bad.
Good and bad. We actually did a video on YouTube about how to have sex in a van. And it's a fun, you know, talking about like how it is, like the ceiling's
Or like
only
how
so
you
tall.
should design your bed, you
Yeah.
know, depending on your height or your, you know, and like different locations.
I will say
and
the first time it's kind of like, it's exciting, but it's also scary because you're like, is the van like shaking?
Are we making
Is it-
too much
you
noise?
know,
Like, where are we?
It's all that stuff.
That's for you.
This is perfect.
Yeah, let me slide that way. There you go.
Okay. This is very comfortable.
Yeah, you know, it's we wanted to have the ability to host people. So like that was the thought of this van, was we wanted the table that breaks down to a bed, and we could sit 6 people here, play cards, hang out at night.
You kind of have the best of both worlds. You kind of have nature and the outdoors, and then you have this homey situation here. One of my favorite things in life is to share a cup of coffee, have like deep conversations and sort of like, I don't know, and I feel like we live our lives in auto mode a lot.
Yes.
Without moments like this, you know? So, yeah, I mean...
You just literally spoke the essence of van life. Like meeting people, like having this little sit-down, get-together, that it's just so intimate.
I feel like it's easier to make friends in van life than it was in New York City. Yeah, I can see you 3 Tuesdays from now at 9 p.m. for like 2 hours, and you're like, okay, I'll take it, you know? Whereas with van life, it's like we all have, I don't want to say we have unlimited time, but we do have, you know, long swashes of, you know, we're working while we're on the road. So if I need to take a couple of hours to like work on my computer, you could be parked right next door working on your computer, and then we can go for a hike together, you know? So in the city, you might see someone once every couple of months for a couple of hours, where in van life, you end up spending a huge amount of time with them, and then you really get to know them, and they really become your friends, and then you know, you keep in touch. I feel like I've made more friends in the last 2 years than I did in the last like 10.
And how do you guys plan your lives, or at least the immediate future? Like, do you wake up and say, we should spend Thanksgiving in Alaska? Like, is that how it works?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So at the beginning, we were very regimented about planning. Now we're just kind of like, we'll get to an area that we think we want to go to, we'll hang out, we'll meet some people. Usually we decide where we want to go based on like people's recommendations.
What would you say was the scariest moment?
I would have to say that we've been pretty lucky, in the sense of we've never even, like the van's never even been knocked on.
I think the scariest moment for me was when we almost flipped our other van when we were driving up a hill that it was dark, and we were trying to like sneak up on our friend and like, you know, but we ended up going up this hill and our tires just started spinning, and then we started sliding backwards, and he's like, I don't have any brakes right now, and then it was terrifying.
Show me around a little bit. So this is your table and also your bed.
Yes. So this converts to our bed. We don't make it every single day, because some days you just want to be lazy and have a bed all day.
We leave it as the bed.
But if you want to work, or you want to host, or you want to have a nice meal together, the table is super duper handy.
It is, it's amazing.
Everything in a van has to have multiple purposes. Because you have such a small space, you need to optimize every single corner of the van. This is the backer of this, so this is like where your back goes, but then it's also where all of our clothes are stored. So on both sides it's full of clothing storage, but then you need to, you know, not see that all the time. This is our like slider pantry cabinet.
Look at that.
Yes, fancy, fancy.
We have a dry storage beneath the area over here that we always forget about. But it has like cans and goods in it right now.
You need to refill.
Yeah, Alaska kind of emptied out that drawer.
What about bathroom?
Yeah,
Welcome to our bathroom. It's right up over here.
You don't have to go far. That's a good thing.
So when we're ready to go,
throw some stuff out of the way.
Frank wishes that I would get rid of all the throw pillows, but I won't.
But it's so cozy.
That's why it's cozy, because of the throw pillows.
Yeah, so this works in many different ways. It's a shower as well as a toilet. We use a composting toilet, so you just sit here, this pops right up. We have a urine diverter that separates the two. The urine diverter goes out, and the poop goes into the bucket. And then we have a scoop right here.
So this is like the dirt.
You just pick up your dirt and you put it right over the top of your stuff.
And then we have a shower basin at the bottom that just goes straight out the truck. And then we use biodegradable soaps. And then this shower curtain gets magnetized to the ceiling. So I'd have to grab all my magnets. It's a 2-man job. So this is where like the couple aspect of living in a van is very handy, Because, like...
But we knew that we were both going to be in the van at all times. So, like, the couple aspect of it, the intimacy, you know, this is part of it. You know, so we are okay with doing this together.
Were both of you always really comfortable naked with each other? There is a big difference between being comfortable when you change and when you're in the bathroom, when you're in the shower, and sleeping together.
Right.
Were you guys always this okay with it?
I think that we're both pretty comfortable with ourselves, and we're both very attracted to one another, so it's... I
Well,
mean,
and it's not always attraction. Sometimes it's just like necessity, too.
Yeah.
You're like, I just need help taking a shower right now. This isn't like a sexy time. It's like, I feel gross and I need a shower.
I will say, like, when we're using the bathroom, we try not to, like, you know, look at each other. I mean, you know, you try to stay in your space, she's in her space. If we really wanted to, we could use those magnets and hook up the curtain.
Or someone could just go outside and, like, take a little walk or whatever.
Yeah, there's many different ways to get away from that.
The idea of a nomadic life always came attached to a lot of discomfort. And you guys are the proof that it doesn't have to be uncomfortable, you know, and, I don't know, sweaty and ugly. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's, I think it's inspiring. I understand more and more why so many people, you know, are inclined to trying.
Yeah.
It's all the benefits of travel with all the benefits of home.
I like that.
Couldn't have said it any better.
Why have an apartment and a rent and all that in the house when you can, like, live wherever you want?
A gente não tropeça num lugar como esse, a gente não tropeça num momento como esse. É quase como se você tivesse correndo atrás da surpresa, né? Como se você estivesse abrindo espaço na sua vida para se apaixonar por um momento novo, por um lugar novo. Eu confesso que quando eu decidi mergulhar nessa realidade, por mais aventureiro que eu seja, eu falei, nossa, não entendo muito essas pessoas que abrem mão do nosso cotidiano, das rotinas delas, para se aventurar nisso tudo. E eu vou sair daqui entendendo mais e mais por que uma pessoa escolheria esse estilo de vida.
Every day is a mystery. Every day we wake up and we can breathe. Taking off to live our lives. Not spent behind a desk, you can find me outside. I'm at home in the trees. In Oregon's waters, they call the hot spring. Traveling down I-5. Not sure where I'm headed, but it will be just fine. On the road is my home. Don't need a place to go. On the road is my home. Wherever I go is where I one day at a time. Try to keep the hope and speak what's on my mind. We are meant to live, not be all mad and decide to break stuff. Open up my blinds. I wanna see something different every single time. Don't need to find nothing to do. Just embrace these moments that be coming through. On the road is my home.
2.
Thank you.